How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Wolves. Welcome back to another match preview on the channel today. Hope you guys are doing well and keeping safe. Today I'm going to be previewing Wolves' game up against Sheffield United this week in the Premier League, and going to be giving my thoughts on it. Be sure to hit the like button down below, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and of course, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And I think we were all hoping for a little bit of normality back on Wednesday, because Wolves, it wasn't the Wolves that we were used to seeing at the weekend, losing 2-0 to Arsenal, and that put a dent in our Champions League dreams and hopes, really. A very, very disappointing performance. I think the Adama Traore sort of experiment, you could say, didn't quite go to plan. Of course, him starting up front again. I think I said on the preview for the Arsenal game that, you know, if Jota wasn't up to it, we did see that little glimpse of Adama playing up front against Aston Villa. Maybe that could have been an option, or even Pedro Neto as well. But yeah, Wolves were very, very sluggish, sloppy, and very one-dimensional, I think, at the weekend. So I'm hoping on Wednesday against Sheffield United we can change back to our normal selves and hopefully grab 3 points. But it is going to be a tough game. Sheffield United, of course, on the restart, we were more or less neck and neck with them. They did have a game in hand, so they did temporarily go ahead of us in the league. But Wolves had such a great start to the restart that we sort of bridged the gap between us and the likes of Sheffield United, Arsenal and Spurs. But unfortunately, after the defeat against Arsenal, Manchester United, Chelsea and Leicester all getting points, it now leaves Wolves in the middle of that gap, really. Just a little bit behind United and co, and just slightly ahead of Arsenal, Spurs and, of course, Sheffield United as well. Sheffield United's form has taken a strange hit. They've had a very up and down restart, to be honest, dropping a number of points, but then also all of a sudden beating Spurs as well, quite comfortably. I think it was 3-1 in the end in that game. But I know they've got a couple of fitness issues themselves. They're not going to be an easy team to beat. Chris Wilder, great manager, has got them set up defensively fantastically, and they are a very, very difficult side to break down. I think they are one or two players away, and I hope Sheffield United fans don't mind me saying this. I think, they had such a strong start to the season. We're genuinely European contenders, but they are genuinely two good players away, as long as they're under Chris Wilder, from being a very, very stable Premier League club. We have seen it once or twice where these clubs come up, have, a really great start, and then next season we don't really see the best of them again. But I genuinely think the way they're set up and built, if they can get someone that they know and can rely on scoring goals, because I'm pretty sure their top goal scorer doesn't have a big amount of goals, if they can bring someone in they know and can rely on to score goals, and maybe one or two other players, I think they're onto a winner, and they could genuinely be one of those sides that we see in the Premier League for many, many years to come, especially under Chris Wilder. And I think that should give the club and should give Chris Wilder no reason to move if they're able to bolster those areas. But we are hoping that Wolves can bounce back. It's been a very productive start to the restart, and it shows something when Wolves fans are genuinely almost heartbroken and really, really disappointed that we've lost out to Arsenal of all teams. We have we've only been in the Premier League almost sort of 2 years now. We did get a lot of stick off Arsenal fans, if I'm being honest. There was a lot of stick off Arsenal fans saying, like, what gives you the right to, you think you should be beating us comfortably. But it has got to the point now that Wolves are a team that every Premier League team fears. We've given every Premier League team so far this season a really good game, at least once. And there's no reason why we can't go into every game thinking that we should be able to win. But this week's and every other game for the rest of the season is going to be tricky. Every other game against teams this season, every other team we're playing, we haven't beaten yet this season. So, of course, Sheffield United, we drew with them earlier on in the season at Molineux. And it's going to be another tricky game at Bramall Lane. We've got the thoughts now of Johnny, who's a Sheffield United fan. He's going to give us the lowdown on what's been happening at Bramall Lane.
Hi, I'm Johnny from the Shore and View and Blades fan. I think it's been a tale of two seasons, really. Not just for us, but for a lot of clubs. Obviously for ourselves, before the break, we were playing well, riding high, putting teams to the sword in places you wouldn't expect, and grinding out some really good results, pushing us towards a place in the table which nobody, and I think a lot of Blades fans, even themselves, didn't think we were going to be. The COVID-19 break has obviously hindered this quite badly. Performances haven't been up to par as much. I don't know if it's fitness, mentality or what it is, but we just haven't been hitting the same heights. The result against Tottenham was a great turning point for us. I'm hoping that despite the 1-1 draw at Burnley, which we did well to come back from, not many people do that at Burnley, we can play more like we did in the Tottenham game going forward. For Wolves, again, after the heroics of last season, playing extremely well under Nuno, I think you've got a strong platform now to try and push for Europe. We could try and catch you, but until we see how our game pans out, we're not really going to know how that goes. Going forward into the game at Bramall Lane, even without the fans, I'm always confident in our team. I know when we were in the Championship, you decimated us at your place, and we did a massive number on you at ours. In the return fixture this season, we took an early lead. It was a tough fought game, ended points even. Hopefully Bramall Lane can give us some sort of advantage, and hopefully Traore doesn't have a good game, because he's going to be essential for you. Jack O'Connell being back is always great news for us, and I'm hoping that personally we can stop winning shifts with him back in. We're going to miss Fleck, but we just never know when a player's going to be back at the moment. Fitness is a massive part. I think it's going to be a good game, an exciting game, one for the neutrals, one that could possibly have both sets of fans pulling their hair out at their own team performances, but it should be a good game. I'm going to go for 1-1.
So big thanks to Johnny and the Shoreham View. You can check out his links in the description down below. Now, team lineup. Of course, it sounds like Sheffield United got a couple of fitness issues and a bit of a fitness crisis. Whereas I wish I could... Well, Wolves, it's sort of the same at the moment. Of course, we've had such a fresh bill of health for over almost 2 years now. Obviously, we had Willy Bolly sort of seriously injured earlier in the season. But it's very rare that we come into these videos and come into a match thinking we've got a bit of a crisis. But... Nuno in his press conference today has confirmed that Pedro Neto is a doubt for the game. He took a bit of a strong kick in the game against Arsenal, so we're not sure whether he's going to be playing. But Daniel Podence is back and available and could play and could start, according to Nuno. He had to fly back to Portugal after the Villa game last week due to a personal issue. He's addressed that. He's come back to England and been self-isolating as per the government rules. But the Premier League have given and granted Wolves and Daniel Podence the ability to play if he wishes on Wednesday against Sheffield United. So, saying that, formation and team prediction, it is going to be a tricky one. I think I'd half expect Patricio, not half expect, I do expect Patricio to start in goal again. I think the back three is going to remain the same. We're going to see Sace, Connor Cody and Willy Bolly. I think they had a bit of an off day, didn't they, on Saturday, but they have been very reliable and very strong throughout the majority of the season. Left wing back, I think we'll see Johnny, and right wing back we'll see Doc again. No changes there really. Obviously Doc's not got a huge amount of competition right now. Johnny has been superb, and he's keeping Ruben Vinagre, whose minutes have been so limited this season. He's really keeping Vinagre out of the team. And I think we're going to go with the two in the middle and the three up top again. So I'm going to go with Moutinho and Neves in the middle. I could see Dendoncker starting, apart from either one of those, possibly Moutinho. But I think those two will partner each other again and see us try and go and attack Sheffield United a little bit. So I think we'll see Adama, we'll see Jimenez, and most probably Diogo Jota as a front three. But it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Daniel Podence come back into the picture. We do have, the bench is going to be an interesting one again. We saw Leonardo Campana introduced onto the bench on Saturday. Of course, we didn't really see him play with Wolves chasing the game for so long. Maybe if we were beating Arsenal, we might have seen the Ecuadorian come on and star, but I'd love to see him play before the end of the season. There's a couple of players who I've expected to see on the bench that we haven't yet, so it'll be interesting to see how Nuno lines up. I've said it the last couple of times, it's been a bit of a healthy headache, a good headache for him because of how well everyone's playing, but I think it's a different type of headache this week with obviously Neto, the situation with Podence, and how he played in general on Saturday. It's going to be interesting to see how Nuno lines up. Historically, in recent history at least, Wolves have got a half-decent record against Sheffield United, but of course, with no fans, I think two teams that really love having the fans behind them. It is going to be an intriguing game of football. Hopefully, we see Wolves grab 3 points. I'll be back after the game, giving my thoughts on that. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until next time, I'll see you all very, very soon.